Hello friends, I am Ritesh and welcome to the Industrial Classroom. In the previous video, we learned about the very basics of the conveyor belt, starting from the types of conveyor, why the conveyor are needed, and various such factors which provide for the selection of the conveyors. Right. In this video, we will go to our next topic, which is the specification of the conveyor belt. So before moving on to the specification, we know that the fabric belt consists of top cover, plies, or the combination of ply which is called the carcass, and bottom cover. We read it. So now let us move to the specification of the conveyor belt. Specification is very important because it provides for the details that we must know whenever we find a belt. On the side of the belt, we can find a print, an impression which contains the specification of the belt, and therefore recognizing the specification helps us to identify the type of belt we have. Right? So first, let us learn about the specification of fabric belt. Here we can see that the general specification consists of, looks similar to this. So this is nothing but it consists of belt width, the type of the carcass present, the tensile strength, then the number of plies, then the number of plies, then top cover, bottom cover, and the grade. Right. So until and unless we learn it from our side, we cannot remember it. Okay, so the first character which it consists of is 1200. Okay, only this is an example. It may consist of 800, it might consist of 500, it may consist of 1000, or it might also consist of 2000, 2400. Okay, so what are these? The first character, this is nothing but the belt width, right? It is the belt width. Next we can find that we have NN written. So what is it? It is the carcass type. Okay, it is the carcass type. It may be nylon, NN, which we have also learned in the previous video. If you have any confusion regarding it, then you must watch the previous video. We have learned in detail about NN type carcass, AP type. We will also come further in details. Okay, so no need to worry now. NN. Then here it comes 1000 by 4. So what is this 1000 by 4? When it comes to 1000 by 4, it is the tensile strength. Okay, we must remember that it is the tensile strength. In short, we can say that it is the load carrying capacity of the belt. Right. Next we have 10 by 4, or we may have 8 by 3, 10 by 6. So these are nothing. The first digits here before the slash sign, it is the top cover thickness. The thickness of the top cover. We know in a fabric belt we have top cover, we have carcass, then the bottom cover. So this is the carcass. So the top cover thickness here is 10 in this case. The bottom cover thickness is 4 in this case. Right. So this is the bottom cover thickness. Next we have here M24. What is it? What is this M24? It is the grade of the cover. What is this cover grade? Okay, M24 is the normal grade for medium load. Okay, medium grade we can say. Then we also have SAR for super abrasive resistant grade. We have UHR for ultra heat resistant grade, SHR for super heat resistant grade. We may also have FR for fire resistant. We may have chemical resistant band grade also. So these are all different types of grades which we have. So it depends upon the location of our use, right? So no need to worry about this, because as we move on to the next slide, we can see here the carcass material and how these all depends. Okay, just a minute. Right, so this is the fabric belt, and we may find that these belt consist of the plies, which are the actual load carrying members. We have 4 ply, then it is more strengther as compared to 3 ply belt. 3 ply is more strengther, can carry more load as compared to 2 ply belt. Okay, so these are nothing but the embedded material, right? So the plies may be of NN type, EP type, aramid type, steel cord is the carcass, right? So these are, we are talking about carcass. Next, we may also have cotton here. But why are these cotton plies not used nowadays? Cotton plies are used in very specific application. First, why are these cotton plies not used? See, cotton plies are lightweight. They are very lightweight and they are very simple pliers and cost effective. So why don't we use them if these are so cheaper, so cost effective? But not in use at every location because because why? The first reason is that it is very susceptible to moisture. It is very susceptible to moisture. Okay, whenever it comes to contact with in contact with moisture, it is very ineffective. The second thing is that its load carrying capacity is less. Load carrying capacity, as you can say, is very less compared to the EP grade pliers and MTech. The next point is its elongation is too much high. Elongation is very high. So you can imagine that you have used a conveyor belt, maybe from your home to your shop. Okay, you have used your conveyor belt from your home to your shop. But when you run that conveyor, it elongates, and when you want to reach the shop, you cannot stop there because the conveyor belt has actually elongated double its distance. So this is the problem with the cotton belts. So the most important reason is that because it is very susceptible to moisture, it gets affected by moisture very much. So these are not used nowadays. But in various locations, especially in V belts, we may find it. In machine shops, we may also find it. Okay, so now the carcass material may be NN or the nylon type, which is the polyamide type, and it elongates 1 to 2.5%. That is, for a 100 meter belt, we can find an elongation of 2.5 meters. You can see that it is a huge elongation, right? 1 to 2.5. Next, to improvise it, we have the EP belts. These are a combination of polyamide and polyester, and their elongation is very less as compared to the NN belt. We can say that it elongates less. Next, we have aramid belt, and remember what is this aramid? These materials are also used for making bulletproof jackets, right? So you can learn from it that how much stronger they might be. Its elongation is very less, 0.25 to 0.75%. For example, in 100-meter belt, we can find elongation of 250 centimeters. Very less, right? Next, steel cords. Steel cords we will learn later. Now, the fabric woven. See, these are all fabrics. NN, EP, aramid, these are all fabrics, and they are woven in different types, like the basket type, sieve type. There are different type of. These are just for your information. That there are various types of. These are various types of wovens, or they are woven in different types. We can say to make a difference between the load carrying capacity. Okay, for example, we can say here that if these are straight pliers, then we can say that if load falls on it, then pliers will become bend easily and they won't have muster. Now if I have made them a bit like this, so now the load taking capacity increase. Now as I wove them more tightly, more constantly, we can see that the load carrying capacity will increase much more. So these are different types of woves that we can find in fabric belt. Now let us move to the steel cord belts. So why are these steel cord belts used? The first is the load carrying capacity is very high. Then for longer distance, we cannot afford for the extension, because if there will be more extension, then we know that the reliability of the conveyor will also reduce. Okay, because at every places we cannot afford that the belt will expand 250 centimeters, or the belt will expand 250 meters for longer belts, right? So we come to a new topic, which is the steel cord belts. Steel cord belts, let us learn that they have a top cover, they also had a bottom cover, and in between they have the carcass material, which are the embedded steel cords, and this is the gap between, and these are called the intercords. These are called the intercords, right, between the two belts. There is edge, this is the belt edge, and there is also, we may find in some belts, metal breaker. What does this metal breaker do? Metal breaker obstructs, it provides an obstruction, so it obstructs the foreign material. For example, steel cord belts are generally used for conveying huge tonnage of material. So a sharp material comes here. So this metal breaker will act as a first layer of protection. And what will happen if this metal breaker is not present? Then maybe this sharp material will directly get inside the steel cord and create through cut in this belt. Right? So metal breaker acts as a first layer of protection. Now let us learn about the specification of steel cord belt. See, before coming to this difficult specification, let me first show you a very easier specification. So in steel cord belt we can find the first digits consists of the belt width. Okay, now let us consider 2000. Next we may have ST2500, ST3250, different. These are the ratings. ST denotes that it is steel cord, right, and this is the tensile strength. Okay, so this is ST3250 or ST2500. Then we have 10 by 6. What does 10 by 6 denotes? It denotes the top cover, it denotes the bottom cover, the thickness, right? Next we may also have here M24, SAR, or we may have UHR. These are the different cover grades. Which cover grades? This top cover and bottom cover grades. Here, if we move to the detailed specification, we can see that in fabric weld we have 1000 by 4. From this we learn that 4 is the number of plies. But how many are steel cords here? How many steel cords are present here? We can come when we go to the complete detail. So this is the detailed specification of the steel cord belt. In a detailed or the complete specification of steel cord belts, we have the facility to learn about the number of cords. This is the 129, it is the number of cords. 12, when it comes, it is the pitch. What is this pitch? So these are the two cords. The distance between the center to center of the two consecutive cords is called the pitch distance. For example, if we come to this image, so let us consider this is the center and this is the center of the second cord. This is the pitch or the pitch distance which we call. Okay, so 12 is the pitch and 5.1 is the cord dia. We may have cord dia different. For example, we may have 7.2, right, 6.7. So these are different types of cord dia associated with it. Specification, simple specification, we can learn that the first set of characters which we have, it is the belt width, both in fabric belt as well as in steel cord belt. The second consists of, in steel cord belts especially, the second consists of the rating, right? So this is all that we have about the specification of conveyor belts. I hope that this video will help you in understanding the type of belt, the location which it can be used in, for the next time you visit your site or you look at the number of the belt. Thank you. We will meet in the next session.